Brooke knows this maybe is St Helens' point of no return. Ben Barber's debut last week, hardly the occasion to celebrate for all that were connected with the club. They'd hoped for much better, beating Wigan. But Barber's first game of rugby league in 11 months, a performance though that hinted that he might have better to come. Richardson then, the new man in the scrum half role for St Helens tonight. Matty Smith left out of the team by Justin Holbrook. He gets us underway. This is the first drive by Keegan Hurst, met with solid St Helens resistance 10 metres from his own line. There is Tyler Randall, the dummy half, gets the ball away to Anthony England. Quite a start. Tyler Randall, he was 25 last week. He signed on a 2-year deal from the Newcastle Knights. 2 tries against Salford on his Super League debut. There he is again at dummy half. Gets the ball to the left-hand side and finds Matty Ashurst. Takes the ball into the St Helens defenders. It was Morgan Knowles who finished off the tackle. Rather an eerie atmosphere inside Bellevue tonight.
A nervous atmosphere, Eddie. Wakefield, this is what they'll want to do. They'll want to get to the kick, pressure Saints down here. And you look at Saints' side, and probably when you look at the ball players that they've got 6 players who are all generals. Now, they can't have that many generals on the field. Sooner or later, they've got to do the hard work, and you can't have that many Chiefs and not enough Indians. You've got to have those foot soldiers for Saints. So it's going to be difficult to break down this Wakefield side. They hit hard, they get the numbers in, they slow the rucks down.
Roby is the man who maybe can hold the key to victory. Thompson takes the ball forward. Luke Thompson, 9th start in a row at prop forward for him. Roby behind him, just over the halfway line. Here now is Luke Douglas, the Australian-born Scottish international. And Roby is the man in at dummy half once again. And Douglas just moves away from that play. The ball looked like it had a bit of a crack then. Grix is underneath the high kick. Safe as houses. Gets away from Zeb Taylor, but can't get away from Wilkin.
He's so calm at the back, Scott Grix. He positions himself under that ball, he backs off, then he steps forward onto it. He's absolutely exceptional. Your teammates, these teammates know that if that ball goes high, he's going to pouch it.
The last time we were here at Bellevue, Wakefield scored a really impressive victory against the Leeds Rhinos that electrified their supporters and enlivened their season once again. And this man is a very fine acquisition, he really is, Tyler Randall.
Well, he's electric from dummy half, isn't he? He gets out, he tries to target some of those bigger fellas, tie up the defenders as well before bringing the bigger fellas onto the ball.
Jacob Miller with the kick all along the ground and picking up a bit of the moisture on the turf as well as it spins and slides its way into touch.
People talk a lot about Liam Finn as the kicker, really, a lot for Wakefield, but in the games I've watched recently, it's the kicks from Jacob Miller on the left-hand side of the field that have caused more problems for their opponents. Scored a lot of tries from them. He is a risk taker, and I think that every team needs a player with that characteristic. Obviously, you need a balance. Getting that balance is difficult for every team, but at the moment, in recent matches, Wakefield have had that balance just about spot on.
And Jacob Miller, the man who was awarded the match-winning penalty try at St Helens in March when Trinity won by 16 points to 12. Remember, he was originally at Hull in 2013 as a 20-year-old. Here now is Makinson once again. It's almost like the Wakefield supporters and the Saints supporters holding their breath. For talking to Michael Carter, the Wakefield chairman and owner, before the match, and he said all of his supporters have been coming up to him and said, "Are you nervous?" And he said, "Well, he's got nothing to be nervous about tonight because they've got everything to win this evening at Wakefield."
Well, that's it. The start of the year, most people were tipping them to be down the bottom end of the table. So whatever happens over the next 3 games, they've been absolutely sensational. Where they are, on the verge of making the playoffs for the first time. You've got to credit this club and what they've done on and off the field.
As I say, 2 years ago, fighting for their very Super League lives. They beat Bradford Bulls on that occasion. And the rest, as they say, is history. That's good hands, though, from St Helens. And Thompson going forward down the middle on the back of a great ball.
Sorry, Eddie, love to see that kind of interplay between forwards. Nice short passes and a nice kick from Richardson.
Almost into the arms of Makinson. Surely that's a knock-on. And the referee agrees it's a turnover on the 10-metre mark.
I don't know whether it felt like he was tackled in mid-air then. It's a lovely little kick. Yeah.
Well, he was.
Yeah.
He was tackled in midair, definitely.
Yeah, but he's knocked on before that. I think the player has tackled him thinking he's going to catch the ball, but it had already gone into touch.
Dangerous kicking it for Makinson.
Seen those given, seen those awarded a penalty, Stuart, in the past.
Well, possibly. You could say that he didn't get the opportunity, or didn't have the opportunity to get the ball back. But he was certainly knocked forward.
A brave kick from Danny Richardson. He really needs to assert himself on this game. He's been given a chance. Matty Smith unable to take his place in the team. A lot of responsibility on Danny Richardson's shoulder, and he needs to grab the bull by the horns.
Well, he had one of his best games here in July, a try and a drop goal in the victory. This, meanwhile, is Anthony England. Wilmer Castleford and Warrington prop forward. Liam Finn now with a kick high into the right-hand side. And this will bounce in front of Barber and Regan Grace. Oh, and Regan Grace gets to it first. Look where they get him. They get him almost over the line, Wakefield. That's an enthusiastic chase.
Hold out. Play the ball there, tackle one. Wait there, Morgan.
Well, that was a worry, wasn't it? The ball goes up, and neither Ben Barber or Regan Grace wanted to go for that ball. There's got to be better communication at the back. That's your job. You're in the back three. The ball drops anywhere in the vicinity. You've got to command that ball. This is where they like to turn the screw, Eddie. Nice, quick, aggressive line speed, nice and compact, targeting the forwards that are trying to take the ball forward as Saints shift it wide.
Luke Thompson again. He was fed by Wilkin. Good tackle by Tinarawa Rona and Ashurst. Morgan Knowles now trying to burrow his way through. Down he goes. Will get to his feet. Played to Roby. Still inside their own half. The kick is deep, but straight into the arms of Ben Jones-Bishop. Now look out, this fella's got 19 tries this year. Only Liam Marshall of Wigan and Greg Eden have got more in 2017. Dealt with fairly accomplished then by Theo Farge.
But probably, if you're critical of that player then, if they catch that ball on the full, they're probably another 10 metres up the field. Good defensive effort, restricting the metres that Saints were making near their own line. But then you've got to make sure that you do catch that ball on the full.
England once again drives the ball straight into the body of Wilkin. There's a bit of help there from Douglas, who looks none the worse for the early bang he took. Here is Liam Finn again. Thought about the pass to Kermon, thought better of it, so took the tackle. Roby and Zeb Teyer. Randall once again at dummy half, comes down the short side. It's Scott Griggs. Kicked down and in the air looking. Well, the ball is played backwards, but it's a knock-on off Wakefield.
What was interesting there about that for the Trinity side, the kick was made by the third player we've seen to kick the ball. Scott Griggs was the man who put it up. It's difficult knowing who to have to trap down and pressurise when it comes to the last play. Ben Barber won't want any more experiences like that tonight.
No, there's been two kicks in his direction. One, he let it bounce with Regan Grace, and that one, he took it a little bit uneasily, really. This is Roby. Thompson again.
He's been very good all year, hasn't he, Thompson? Look at his leg drive. He powers into contact, tries to break through the line.
Remember his first start of the season against Wakefield in the home defeat. There's Barber now joining the attack, gets it wide to Makinson. Good defence required and good defence produced by Rhys Lynn. Farge to Douglas. Here is Wilkin once again. Arona is all around him. Helped out by Keegan Hurst. Down he goes. Last tackle for St Helens, just inside Wakefield territory. Farge with a high kick. This is spiralling everywhere. Griggs is underneath it. Griggs takes it cleanly. And Percival with a very well-timed, very well-judged tackle.
And again, Eddie, that's that composure at the back that you're looking for from your fullback. You can see that the way that he goes up to catch that ball, he lifts his leg, he protects himself from the onrushing defenders.
Tupu here for Wakefield. He's in the 2011 New Zealand Four Nations squad, but he never actually played in the series. He was over here though. And Arundel now will play the ball. Away goes Randall. Little scoot from him. Griggs to Liam Finn. Another kick. High. And targeting Barber. That time it's easy.
There was a judder in his approach to that again. I think he was looking at his winger, Regan Grace. Are you getting it or am I? And if you contrast the two fullbacks, Scott Griggs looks really comfortable under a high ball, and Ben Barber, he's not sure what his role is, what his job is.
Here comes Zeb Taylor now. England with the initial challenge. Keegan Hurst helping out. Roby into centre field to Wilkin. Richardson drops the pass off. Douglas takes it forward again.
Looking for that gap around the middle. You take the ball 2 passes away from the ruck, looking to bring somebody back underneath you. As James Roby's trying to isolate certain defenders.
There's the danger man, Roby. Farge the dummy half. Here is Richardson. High again. The kick at the end of this set for St Helens, just going away from Scott Griggs, but he took control of the situation. Tupu. Well, so far it's been safety first from both sides, really. That's a bit more inventive, and here goes Miller.
You're generally going to have that, aren't you, for the opening 10 minutes. They've gone set for set. There's been just one mistake in those first 10 sets of possession. Most of the time they've got to the end of the set, they've put the ball high and they've tasked the opposition to try and catch that difficult kick. Well, Wakefield side here now, a lot of the player down the middle, making 5-10 metres every carry and just hoping for a crack or a penalty from the referee.
Scott Griggs plays the ball. Randall showed a couple of would-be passes to the people on his right-hand side, then took the initiative himself. Finn finds Danny Kermond. Kermond trying to ride the challenge of Theo Farge. 11 minutes gone, 0-0, and Wakefield have reached tackle number 5 this latest set. So again, the kick from Finn. This is a bit more delicate. Barber's after this. The ball is knocked backwards, and it's still on the last tackle because it was knocked back by Wakefield. Griggs with a ding to the in-goal area. Makinson's lost it. Tupu's got it, and Bill Tupu gets the first try for Wakefield. Horrible bounce for Makinson that fooled him completely. Tupu following up, and Tupu gets the opening try of the match to give Wakefield Trinity the lead. That's his 12th try of the season, and he got a try in his 50th appearance for Wakefield last week in the big win at Salford. A career best 14 tries in all for the campaign now.
Well, the man who scores the try is the man who started it with his offload to Miller. Big left foot step, gets through the line, and then all of a sudden when they come up here, the likes of Liam Finn and Jacob Miller like to get hold of the ball, take control of the back end of the set. If they don't take control, this man at the back does a delicate kick over the top, and he's been sensational the way that he started this game. Scott Griggs, the challenge is in the air, there's no problem with this, and all the players in red shirts jogging on the spot waiting for something to happen.
To me, the Trinity side looked first to everything. They look the keener, they look the more enthusiastic, and when Liam Finn puts that kick in, he's under no pressure whatsoever. When Saints are putting kicks in, there's kick pressure, and those kickers from Saints are failing to get the kicks away on their own terms. It's as simple as that.
4-0 to Wakefield then, this kick from Liam Finn. Tight out on the far touchline, trying to arrow it between the posts, hits the post, and it bounces the wrong side. 4-0 then to Trinity.
Well, this is the 18th try that Wakefield have scored in the Super 8s in this next phase of the competition, and the 9th that's had a kick in it somewhere. Half of the tries, they become the most dangerous side when it gets to the end of a set, and they make sure they come to life and capitalise on any lucky bounce that goes their way.
Well, so far St Helens have struggled under the kicks from the likes of Liam Finn, from Scott Griggs, from Jacob Miller. They haven't looked convincing at the back at all so far. Long way to go yet, but Wakefield with the noses in front as we approach the 13th minute of this match.
There's a difference when Saints are kicking the ball to Wakefield. When Saints are kicking it, they're down near their own line. They're looking for territory. They're looking for distance. When Wakefield are kicking it, they're high kicks in the air. They're looking to make it into a contest. So it's a bit nervous approach from Saints in the opening 13 minutes of this game.
Saints really have to win to give themselves a realistic chance of making the playoffs for yet another year. They're here tonight, they're home to Huddersfield, followed by a trip to Salford. They would be favourites on paper to win the last two, with Salford and Huddersfield just struggling a bit at the moment in the Super 8s, but you never know this year.
Eddie, the tackle count restarted. They look sharp from dummy half. Really impressed with Tyler Randall, asking lots of questions around those big fellas. There's the 6 to go. Johnny Lomax desperately lunges at the ball. He knocks it on, and Wakefield again, great enthusiasm.
Well,
made the first mistake. I think that's their first mistake in 14 minutes.
I don't think the pass was meant for Matty Ashurst.
Look at the push that they've got around the ball. They've got so many options when they go at the line. It's nice and direct as well. It's not sideways. They're fixing defenders. They're squirting them up at the line.
I think it was. I think it was a bad pass. I think it was a bad pass, Eddie, wasn't it?
And for me, that pass is forced because Johnny Lomax gets up, he gets into the line, and Miller thinks, I'll just give it to the front door runner, and it's too hard, and it's a little bit behind. It hits. It's Matty Ashurst on the shoulder.
It did.
Stay on.
Just above the shoulder, below the jaw.
It's the first time, though, isn't it, we've seen that sort of attacking play from them. They did look dangerous. If they find that pass, there were gaps, but we see what sort of response. We've said it's do or die for St Helens. We've heard that from their own lips here tonight. They've got to perform here.
Roby is the dummy half, and here is Richardson. That's the ball to Farge, linking down that right-hand side from Morgan Knowles. And Roby again in at dummy half, gets the ball into centre field to Wilkin. He finds Luke Douglas. Douglas then to Knowles once again, but nowhere for Knowles to go. And no support really down the right-hand side for him. So Roby's looking left, and that's the way it comes. With Richardson and Farge. And Farge booms a pass out wide, but I'm afraid the dummy fooled everybody, including his own player. And they've been pinged here for obstruction.
Well, he goes behind his own player, Theo Fires. When he gets the ball here, he's got a dummy runner that's going through the line. And then he throws that pass. Because he'd obstructed a Wakefield player, if he drops to his knee and gives a voluntary tackle, he wouldn't be penalised for this effort.
Well, we're in the 16th minute. That's the first penalty of the game. And it's gone the way of Wakefield. That's why they restart here with Rhys Lynn. The referee's a bit concerned because the second ball has been thrown on the field, so we'll clear that away, and then the clock will restart, and so too will the tackle count.
And Rhys Lynn was a bit concerned from the shot that he received from Mark Percival.
Anthony England, legs just came up briefly.
Hold it. Hold.
Randall once again. Arona. Down the middle he goes. Roby and Zed Teyer prevent him. Randall once again. This time left to Miller. Further wide they go to Arundel. Joe Arundel will play the ball. Miller now. Here is Arona once again. Well, in centre field, they've reached the last tackle.
They're quite willing to shift the ball, aren't they? Wakefield, a lot of movement every time the ball carrier gets it.
I don't think Randall heard the call. He went for gold then and came up with bronze.
You can see already he's an instinctive player. Has a similar look for me to Mark Gleeson. Mark Gleeson, the ex-Warrington forward, brother of Martin, sharp out of dummy half. And he's looking for work in defence as well.
Makinson. There's a little scoot. Down he goes, second tackle. Just inside his own half of the field here. Roby waits. Comes down the short side again with Teyer. He finds Percival. Percival then to Grace. And Grace, well, it was easy really for the defender because Grace was tight to the touchline. And they just had to really bundle him over the whitewash.
What's hard in these situations for St Helens is not to become frustrated. You saw the heads of one or two players, Ben Barber there, drop as they turn inside here. They know they've missed a chance and it's disappointing. But staying positive when you're behind on a scoreboard in a game that you simply have to win is a mental challenge that they all have to overcome right now.
You know, that's a tremendous defence from Ben Jones-Bishop. Knowing that he was caught out on a 2-on-1, he doesn't commit to Percival. He backs off. As soon as the ball's passed, he knows that he's got his touchline as the next defender and pushes Grace over the sideline.
Ben Jones-Bishop, who pushed Regan Grace over the sideline, takes the ball up on the first tackle. Saints have won 34 of 42 against Wakefield in Super League. They've also won 15 from 20 visits here. So history very much on their side, but in 2017, Wakefield have been impressive. Lomax lifting the leg, going over the top of Tupu to try and get back in position.
Well, this penalty here we see, it'll just give them a great opportunity to attack. You know, both of these coaches have got their secret weapon, the big man on the bench, and Wakefield have just brought theirs on for the first time. Number 20, David Fafita, I'm sure he'll get his hands on the ball. You see him in the middle of your picture there, socks down around the calves. Probably to challenge this forward here.
Arona takes it forward, there's Fafita. David Fifita. He is the twin brother of the Aussie international Andrew Fifita. And Randall waits at dummy half on the 20-metre line. Takes the return, gets it away to Miller. Here is Joe Arundel again. Try on his 70th Wakefield appearance last week at Salford. And Fifita now. Almost loses his shorts.
Yeah, Luke Thompson's been a fraction late on a couple of challenges, and I think it's Anthony England who didn't like it on that occasion. He turns round and lets young Luke Thompson know, I'm not going to stand for that. Danny Richardson.
Well, there's a late challenge.
I agree with Tez. I think he's had a phenomenal year, and I think St Helens with Luke Thompson, Morgan Knowles, and we'll get to see Matty Lee shortly. Got some outstanding young forwards. Just a little bit too late. You're just letting the half-back know that...
That's sin bin.
No, I think they just seen his...
set as well, where the ball's clearly gone when we're taking the man out, the ball player. No, the ball is clearly gone. You can't have any contact with him. Be careful what you're doing. Come on, mate. Think about what we're saying.
And I think that's the point Ben Thaler's making there. It's the ball has clearly gone in that situation. Sometimes you see players taking the ball to the line. Well, he continued after him after he passed the ball.
And when you'd have half-backs going at the line, Eddie, they skirt across the line. They're trying to pull out the likes of Luke Thompson out the line. As soon as he jumps the line, there's space in that gap. You're dropping off the bigger fellas who are coming back against the angle, against an under chase or an over chase, and that on that occasion was an over chase.
And Eddie, and I can imagine people sat at home thinking, why, what is he doing? Well, he's just trying to put that element of doubt in the mind of Jacob Miller and just let him know that, yeah, I'm around and I'm not going to make it easy for you. Unfortunately for his side, it's cost 2 points.
It should do if Liam Finn converts this penalty, which in all probability he will and does. And Wakefield fans happy enough with the start that their team has made. Quarter of the match gone. They lead by 6 points to 0. Their line rarely threatened by Saints.
No, they've looked good, haven't they? People asked Brian Candy before the match. He asked me, why is it that Wakefield are up in this position? We see big Alex Walmsley now just introduced a quarter of the way through this game. Well, one of the reasons is because Liam Finn is probably the third best kicker in Super League. He's converted over 83% of his kicks. There's only Mark Sneed and Luke Walsh, who are the regular main kickers, who've been more accurate than him. And it's the reason, I suppose, at times they kicked 3 penalties last week against Salford. They know he can guarantee 2 points in that sort of position.
So from the restart, it's Wakefield without possession rather, with Danny Kermond. This is Fifita again. The first involvement of Alex Walmsley. Now Anthony England, that's a solid run. It took James Roby back on his heels.
Well, for the first 20 metres, they've all been solid runs, haven't they? Coming out of yardage. So there's a lot of push around the man who's carrying the ball. It's not very often they get dominated. That's probably one of the first times they've been dominated in the game.
Fifita once more. McCarthy Scarsbrook is out there as well as Alex Walmsley now for Saints. Liam Finn. LMS tried to get to him but couldn't prevent the kick getting away. So here is Ben Barber, a lateral run from him. And dealt with by Joe Arundel. Barber, the marquee signing on St Helens playing roster now. Here for a couple of years at least.
Well, as I said earlier, they've got some players, haven't they, to complement Barber. This one, look at this lad. I think every game he gets better and better, Grace. So explosive, goes at the line, not scared of anything.
No, and a tip in some quarters for Young Player of the Year, following the likes of Gary Connolly, Kieran Cunningham, James Graham and Johnny Lomax, who won the Player of the Year title. That's a great kick from Richardson. Was that a 40-20?
Yeah, 40-20.
Is that a 40-20 from Richardson?
It is.
On the fourth tackle as well.
What a kick from the young man. He said he had to step up and grab a hold of this game by the scruff of the neck, and there he is. Come on, he's saying to his teammates.
So now Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. This is the first time that Wakefield's line has been threatened. And is that a high shot or was that for offside? Because he was desperately, Stewart, trying to get Wakefield back onside before allowing.
Yeah, I think it's an offside penalty. No, high tackle. Just signalled high tackle.
Richardson to Wilkin. Taylor taking on Liam Finn, taking on Kermond. Randall's there as well, getting St Helens to within half a metre of the line. Roby is the dummy half. Back it comes to Richardson. Richardson, good ball. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook gets over the line for the St Helens try. Well, Richardson's 40-20 has reaped wonderful reward here. That's the reason why maybe he has been thrust into the limelight tonight, the 20-year-old. But Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook takes his tally to 5 for the season. He was a try-scoring substitute here in July as well when the Saints won 41-16.
Well, the young halfback Danny Richardson takes control, puts the ball all the way up the field, earns his side of 40-20. Then from the penalty, a lunging arm from Anthony England. It's taken some fresh legs to run into the right spaces for Saints to get edged away into this game. Lovely ball from Danny Richardson again, who's having a growing influence on this match.
Your halfback, when he's going at the line, what he's looking for is trying to get some defenders rocking. And with Alex Walmsley running at the line, along with that man, it's very difficult to pick which man you're going to go for. So give some credit to Alex Walmsley as well.
So Mark Percival here with the opportunity to add the extra 2. 81 goals so far this season from 107 attempts, 76%. There's nothing to hamper that record, and the scores are level at 6 apiece.
Lots of things have changed in the game in my lifetime, but this principle hasn't. 2 big men running at one defender, one on the inside of his shoulder, one on the outside, and then ask your ball player, the creative man, to find the right player. Which one is unmarked? It obviously is a split-second late decision. If you find the right one, he runs through a gap, you get the reward.
So 6 apiece here, and this is the first of 3 matches we have for you from the Betfred Super League, Super 8s and qualifiers this weekend. Hull against Wigan, a repeat of the Challenge Cup final tomorrow on Sky Sports Arena at 7:30. And have a look at this on Saturday. What a vital match for Hull Kingston Rovers and the Widnes Vikings. 3:10 on Saturday on Sky Sports Action this time. And following that, we have the Catalan Dragons, who are in a bit of trouble in the qualifiers. We'll be hoping they can get their recuperation back on track against Featherstone. That's at 5:10, same place. So plenty of rugby league action to come this weekend here on Sky Sports, as Barber makes a little dash through the middle, gets a great ball away to Percival. Griggs has missed him, but Fifita didn't.
That's play on.
Well, the referee was about to wipe the tackle count clean, but then he has adjudged that that is a knock-on.
Oh, I thought that was played up by Fifita. Yes,
it was. Thaler has taken the advice of his touch judge on this near side.
They did well to recover.
But which way is the ball knocked?
Well, he's ruled that the ball was knocked forward by Fifita in that tackle there. So he's knocked it against Percival, in fact.
Well, he's not then. He's dragging it back. Look at the footwork here from Barber. Looks for the offload. Gives it to one of Saints' most dangerous players. Fifita over the top. Makes a play for that. Knock on.
Okay, let's bang, guys. Okay, Phil.
So Saints with the scrum. This is dangerous. 30 metres away. Richardson. Not the best pass this time, but he finds Makinson. He tries to get something going, first of all, with a crossfield run, then straightens it up, taking on Kermond and Finn. Makinson plays the ball to Roby. Here is Walmsley. Walmsley has got the arm free, gets the ball free as well to Roby. Here's McCarthy-Scarsbrook, change of direction.
Those two have added some punch, McCarthy-Scarsbrook and Walmsley.
Roby. 10 metres out. Richardson fires the pass to Barber through his fingertips to Lomax. Ball went backwards. Play on. Johnny Lomax. And Taya, he juggles with it. Liam Finn gets hold of him though. Down he goes, tackle number 3. And Barge. But Roby could not take the pass in. Chance is gone.
But that was better from St Helens. A lot more purpose, a lot more energy from the Saints. Players pushing into the next hole. And James Roby, whenever we watch St Helens play, right at the heart of any Saints performance is James Roby. This is a wonderful offload. He's offering it, and slips it out the back. Lovely stuff from the big man. And nice feet from LMS as well.
All came to naught though, because Roby could not take the pass in. So Liam Finn has head and feet at this scrum for Wakefield.
One. Move, Theo! Clear, James, please. Wait, boys. Wait, guys, go.
Randall plays the ball. Here is Kermond.
2. Move, Louis! Wait here, please, 2.
2 tackles gone. Wakefield are 20 metres from their own line. Randall again.
3, move, Louis!
Wakefield's forwards do a decent job of just hitting the ball on the advantage line. So every time they carry the ball, like this from Anakin, nice, straight, direct, pulling in a couple of defenders. But as soon as you get the ball off the hooker, you're already into decent territory.
Good offload from Fafita, though, to Jacob Miller. Just slipped at the vital moment then, and Morgan Knowles was able to get him down. It's now his Grix, who goes high again. Now then, Barber is after this. The ball is palmed back straight into the arms of Johnny Lomax, though.
And Wakefield looking to find one of the teammates, Bob, by getting that height on it. The honesty in the chase from Wakefield, they're giving themselves a chance. It's almost 50-50 when the ball goes up in the air.
Makinson taking a bang in that challenge. Gets a little gingerly to his feet. Now taking his place over on the wing again. As Farge finds Zeb Taya.
A little tip on from Taya then, and Percival was through.
Hold it. Hold. No. Come on, go.
Oh, Zeb Taya trying to pinch a penalty. Theo Farge, that ball's gone forward. Well, he's allowed to play on Regan Grace. Reached the last tackle. Didn't take a nudge off a player in back play. Barber slides the kick through the middle. Very well watched, though, by Jacob Miller.
Well, they're good on the breakdown, Saints. They play what's in front of them.
Tupu of Wakefield. He's gone inside Barber. He's got the legs on Barber. Look at this from Bill Tupu. What a try from Bill Tupu. His second of the match. Well, he's back play. Tupu came from Canberra in 2015 and gives Wakefield the lead back again.
He's been outstanding in recent weeks. And this side says only Castleford that have scored more points. You look at this. Look at the footwork there. Skins Barber. Danny Richardson goes for the ankle tap. Misses Tupu, who backs himself. Knows that he's got James Roby and Theo Farge chasing him. So he changes his angle. He goes towards the sideline. But just nice little hands from Wakefield, close to their own line. This is the sign of a confident group of players.
This is a good rugby side. They can pick the ball up. So many energy systems in play. Walk, run, sprint. There's some overspeed there from Bill Tupu. Look at JK. Put the ball down. He lives every second of it, doesn't it?
He does. He does. John Keir, Lee Gilmore and Chris Chester. What a great coaching team that is. And Liam Finn. He's kicked the penalty. He missed the last conversion. Can he make it 12-6? And the answer is yes, he can. Liam Finn and Justin Holbrook, the senior side, claw the way back into the match, and now they trail again.
Well, John Keir scored lots of tries on the wing for Casper in his younger days, but I don't know if he ever scored one as impressive as this. This is a superb try. We talked before the game about Wakefield's ability to take risks, shifting the ball close to their own try line. They decided to back themselves, and that's tremendous pace. They've Mason Caton Brown, Ben Jones-Bishop and Bill Tupu, 3 tremendous scorers with good speed and an instinct to score when it's needed.
Phil, you were probably in short trousers in 1984 when John Keir scored a fantastic try in the 84 Premiership final. Surrender! But I know what you mean. That was impressive from Bill Tupu.
That was only a star in the sky, Eddie. Not yet on this earth.
As Fafita takes the tackle.
And you feel that Saints need to dictate the speed of this game, don't you? They're getting beat up front. They're getting beat on the edge.
Here's Anakin, flying tackled by Wormsley.
Well, trying to lead the line then, Wormsley.
Randall. Looks a live wire. A potential match winner. That is for sure. Kick downfield. Barber got a hand to it, but it went backwards. So here comes Makinson, but Rhys Lynn leading the charge with Dean Hadley. Hasn't he been an impressive loan signing, Dean Hadley from Hull FC? 21st appearance for Wakefield, an outstanding loan signing he's been.
Yeah, big athletic thing, isn't it? Good shot from Craig Hubie.
That's young Matty Lees, former Rochdale Mayfield amateur. Worked his way through the system here at Saints. Been patient, been 18th man a number of times, but gets his shot this evening.
And there he is, 19 years of age. He's been knocking on the door, as Barry says, a few times this year. Alex Walmsley goes down, though, tackle number 5 for St Helens, just over the halfway line, and gets again to his feet, feeling the pinch. It's Theo Farge, he's trapped. Taya finds Roby. Roby gets the ball away to Barber. The kick surely must come now, and does. But that's a little bit long, a little bit hopeful, and will run dead in goal.
He's got a problem, Alex Walmsley, trying to run it off. The physio's waved his arm to the sideline saying, yeah, he's okay. It'd be a huge loss if he had to leave the field for Saints.
Well, he's alongside the referee right now, is Walmsley.
Yeah, well, he just needs to keep that leg moving. He's made more metres and carries than any other player in Super League. This is where he gets the shot from Hadley.
Jacob Miller now. Straight at Matty Lees. Referee calls surrender, which means that Saints have a second or two longer to get off the grounded player. This for Fita. Liam Finn. Miller helps it on to Craig Hubie. The fairy tale has been for Craig Hubie, the man who joined Wakefield from Huddersfield on the eve of the season. This is Dean Hadley. Looks like Walmsley's A-OK. It's a bit of a payback. Randall to Liam Finn. Crossfield kick. Now then. Oh, they've made a mess of it, Saints. It's dropped for Grix. And it's a 0 tackle. Randall can hang on. They've got 6 to go here. Oh, no, they haven't. The ball has come clean. They have 6 to go now. Instead of being 5-6 metres away. What's he doing?
Don't know.
What's he doing? Well, I suppose it's the free play. It's the free play. I suppose you chance your arm. You toss the coin, it comes back heads or tails.
Well, for me, the worry is Ben Barber under those high bombs. He's failed to deal with any of them confidently. And you're right, Eddie, Wakefield throwing the dice and taking the risk, taking the gamble. All over the place there. But Jacob Miller, there's another one.
Hasn't looked convincing tonight, Barber, in defence of these high balls. He really hasn't.
But again, that comes down to communication. Louis McCarthy was going for that ball as well as Ben Barber. If Ben Barber calls for that ball, Louis McCarthy's just got to step back, shield his teammate and try and help him catch the ball.
And 1 game and 35 minutes into his Super League career, you can hardly expect it to be Rolls Royce just yet.
Oh, let's face it, he's a tremendous player, isn't he, Ben Barber?
I tell you what, though,
penalty.
I mean, we can all name players who went on to have good careers in Super League when they made off a bad start when they arrived from Australia, but it didn't even touch. But it was amazing how Tupou skinned him so easily.
James, get the ball.
Craig Hubie, Randall to the left-hand side to Miller. Ashurst trying to spin his way to the line. Louis McCarthy Scarsborough coming in to help out the defender, Morgan Knowles. Roast Randall, he nearly fooled everybody then.
Release 3, goal line, lads.
And he played the ball here to Ashurst. Back he comes to Miller. Miller then fires the pass to Hubie. Good hands from him, finds Fifita. Good job Zeb Taylor was there just to put him off. Liam Finn now. Here is Hubie. Over the top it goes. Has he got this down, or is that great defence from Morgan Knowles?
I'd say that's great defence. He hits a brilliant line then, Matty Ashurst.
I've got tackle 4, James. I have no try. Just making sure that he's not got the ball on the line, please. Tackle 4.
So James Child will have a look at this, the video referee tonight. No try has been called on the field. It looked short.
Well, I think the issue for the referee is that he's on the other side of that post pad, so he just wants to make sure that he doesn't actually get over the line with his momentum. And it looks short.
I think Morgan Knowles has done a great job there, Stuart.
Yeah, and it looks like it's held up. It certainly didn't get to the line with momentum. So from that point, I think this will be a play the ball and last tackle, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's short. Yeah, it's short. Don't worry.
No try. I think I've credited Morgan Knowles with the tackle, and now we think it's Danny Richardson.
Danny Richardson is facing a much bigger man. Obviously, the post pad helps him, but denies Trinity.
Don't crouch down.
Good work from the young halfback.
has he only delayed the inevitable, because here is Scott Griggs and this is Reece Lynn. And that's the turnover. That was the last tackle. Wakefield this time losing the plot slightly.
Good read from Matt Percival out wide. Chris Chesterwood wanted better attacking option, better end to the set. Maybe just put the ball on the boot, chip it into the corner and force another set of 6. But still not a bad place to turn the ball over, is it?
Wait. Dominant!
Good hit by Wakefield.
Oh, good carry from Tom Makinson. On the back of that run from Matty Lees.
Looks like a straightforward competition at the moment, doesn't it, for me, between who can run the hardest or who can tackle even harder. And at the moment, you'd have to say Wakefield are just about winning that contest, although a quick run here from Roby.
And Hubie was offside. Not standing square, Craig Hubie.
And that's what you're looking for, Phil. You're looking to outmuscle the men in the middle, not be dominated. Alex Walmsley won't give up. He won't let Hadley turn him on his back. As soon as Hubie can't get set, that's what James Roby does. Gets out, isolates him and gets the penalty.
Walmsley straight into the chest of Hubie again, leaves him on the deck as Roby has a dash at the line, finds Richardson. Here is Louis McCarthy. Scarborough again, looking for his second, loses the ball. Randall comes up with the possession for Wakefield.
Well, the referee, Ben Taylor, must say that's a loose carry. Good footwork from the big man at the line, steps off the right, tries to force his way through the line and over the try line. You can see that Randall, again.
But he made a play for the ball then, and I think the ball that went back to him rather than obviously hitting the deck and
landed in his knees, it never got to the floor.
No, exactly. Good ball. Scott Griggs is away. He's got Lomax in pursuit. He also has Zebtea, but he waits for Liam Finn to join in the fun.
Great work from Griggs. Griggs and Finn, not the fastest, but they're certainly the smartest.
This is Reece Lynn, gets the pass away, and Ashurst is waiting, and there is no way at all that Arundel could get that ball free. So takes the tackle right on the Saints line. Here is Finn again. Crossfield kick into the in-goal area. Oh, this ball has been touched down, has it? No. Maybe not.
Well, Hadley was out of the field of play, wasn't he, when if he did touch the ball down, so I don't think it's a try anywhere.
We've got no try, James.
He agrees with you, Terry.
Tackle. Who's making sure it's not grounded? Checking the challenge, please.
Well, I think it's all about the restart, this one. Just how do we restart the game? Is it a goal line drop out at a 20-metre restart?
He's offside, isn't he? Miller, though.
Well, Miller's in front.
Within 10 metres of it.
Is he within 10? No, I think he's well out of the way. So who touches the ball last before he goes over the line? Is there a knock-on from Wakefield first? Doesn't look like it. So it looks like we're playing on from here. Is there a touch as the ball comes down? I don't think so. So I think we're playing on. Regan Grace has touched the ball.
Oof. And then Hadley's touched it.
He touches the ball and it goes into Hadley. Now, does it go forward from Regan Grace into Hadley?
Well, that's probably what the video referee is going to look. It's certainly not going to be a try.
We know that. It's no try.
It's before
just how to restart.
So is there a touch forward there into Dean Hadley? Or is that backwards?
He's facing... So if he's facing his try line...
Yeah, but watch this right hand. The right hand hits the ball and it hits it up in the air. Regan Grace. Now that goes up.
I think that's going backwards from Regan Grace.
Yeah, the forehand then.
Yeah, we've got a knock-on by Wakefield in that, so this should be a 20-metre restart.
For me, you know, Wakefield are competing in absolutely everything, aren't they? You look at Ben Jones, Bishop, Hadley, making life so difficult for the catchers of the ball.
Well, it's no try, we know that, and the message now has to get to Ben Taylor how to restart the match.
And a good example, if we go back to the break from Griggs, a good example of why players push through support, even when it's a lost cause, because you just never know when that offload is going to be made available, and there's some reward from that.
Move! To me, guys. Go.
Here comes Walmsley again for the Saints. A solid run from him. Richardson gets it wide to Lomax. Lomax gets a great offload to Roby. Roby then finds Barber in centre field.
wonder if during this game we'll see Lomax come into the middle of the field instead of being just locked in on that right edge.
Fage and Zeb Taylor held on to that despite the fact that Reece Lynn and Chris Anakin were all over him. Here comes Wormsley again, the big man taking it forward once more.
Back to me, please. Hold it, Paul.
That's the fourth tackle, and a bit of a knee problem by the looks of things for Wormsley. Not right, that's for sure. Richardson gets it away to Barber. Barber is pulled down on tackle number 5, 20 metres away, way out on the right-hand side. He's struggling, is Alex Wormsley. They'll need the half-time siren and the break to attend to him. Richardson on all fours, still going, Danny Richardson. And off the knees of Arundel, and the ball goes dead.
Really good work from Richardson again. When he asserts himself in the game, he's got some quality touches. I agree with you. I think Alex Wormsley has picked up a dead leg when he ran that ball against Hadley. But Saints need to compete. They need to be first to those 50-50 things that are going on in the game, because for me it's about Wakefield.
With my failing eyesight, Danny Richardson looks like a young Sean Long there in his early days there, evading players, taking a chance on the last play, using his speed just to get about through the defence. We're back into a good position now.
Oh, I like the look of him.
Matty Lees, good run, plays the ball to Roby. Here's Wormsley, almost knocks Anakin out of the way. Fafita was there. This is Roby again. Fage gets the ball away. Oh, he just loses the possession, and that was Morgan Knowles.
Video referee here,
Pulled out.
Half-time siren has sounded.
I've got no try.
No try
Just
again on the
making sure the ball
field.
is not stolen.
No try again on the field, and was the ball stolen, Stuart?
Well, this is 3 times in 3 weeks, is it, that we've been looking at something like this? How's that ball come out? Well, you'd have to say he probably just loses. That looks like a loose carry on first look.
And there's only one in the tackle anyway.
So is it?
Well, if there's only one, we could have play on. Well, it's a knock on. He's lost that ball. I don't think there's a hand on that. Yeah.
Well, there is a hand.
Matty Ashurst has a hand on the ball. The ball comes loose.
You look at the ball carrier's arm.
Look at the arm of Matty Ashurst. It's on the ball and it comes out, Stuart.
Well, I think his hand's on top. Matty Ashurst's hand on top of Knowles' hand as that ball comes out.
It's on the ball.
No, it's not. He's on the shirt.
Well, he starts on the shoulder, it then goes on the ball. The ball strip. You could argue that is a loose carry.
We've got 2 prop forwards here. We've got an expert. Shall we hear from the expert?
He's lost that ball. That's my opinion.
Terry O'Connor was an expert in losing the ball in possession, Eddie. Let me tell you that.
Well, the referee, James Charles, not sure on this one.
Well, his hand's on the shirt there, and the ball comes out.
It's a knock on that.
I could say that's a loose carry.
There's so many tackles where the ball, the defender, makes contact with the ball.
I agree, but we don't
so
scrutinise. I can see what you're saying. And
here's the decision. No try.
Everyone agrees with you.
There we are. Well done, Stuart. They'll learn one of these days. Chris Chester, John Keir on the way down the tunnel. And Justin Holbrook and Sean Long with a little bit of work to do, because their team that really does need the victory finds itself behind at half-time. The try from Bill Tupu in the 11th minute. Finn didn't add the extras. He kicked the penalty, though, 9 minutes later, 6-0. McCarthy Scarsbrook's try, personal goals, level things up, and then a breathtaking try from Bill Tupu. Finn added the extras, 12-6 half-time to the Wakefield Trinity side. Game against Bradford. They are eyeing the multi-million-pound game at Old Trafford in 2017. Dream is still alive.
All right, Square, let's go, mate.
Ben Taylor blows the whistle. Scott Griggs gets us underway again. Big 40 minutes for the Saints. You're looking at the standings here as we approach this second half. And, well, if Saints lose this, they will then rely on Wigan doing them a favour tomorrow by going to Hull and winning. Because if Wakefield win here and Hull win tomorrow, that will be it as far as St Helens are concerned. I know it's all ifs, ands, buts and maybes, but the way 2017 has gone, you never know. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook with the drive on tackle number 4 for St Helens. Massive 40 minutes ahead for them in the context of their season. And, this is Morgan Knowles, couldn't get the ball away to Richardson. Roby does from dummy half. The rain is tumbling down now here in West Yorkshire. That's a high kick. Makinson has it, keeps the possession, finds Theo Farge. Here is Barber, booms a big pass down the left-hand side to Percival. Percival goes past one, goes past two. Oh, and Scott Ricks has knocked on, back to zero. That's a mistake. That's a mistake by the full-back.
See more energy, more purpose in the set of 6, which you'd expect that. I'm sure Justin Holbrook will have told his players that he wasn't happy with what's happened. McCarthy poaches that ball, another good field position here.
He'll be annoyed with that, will Griggs, particularly if they get over the line. This is Zebtea. And he's just halted 3 metres shy. 2 tackles gone, still 4 left this set. Roby fires the pass to Richardson. He then gives it, thought about giving it to Walmsley, gave it to Theo Farge instead. And Theo Farge was looking for Tommy Makinson and only found the touchline.
Well, they get into that good field position, then they throw the ball into touch. Theo Farge, he'll be disappointed with that. He's a better player. When he goes at the line, he's looking for Johnny Lomax. You can see him turn straight around. Johnny Lomax has chose to come back underneath. He's come back on the drop-off play. When Theo Farge passes that ball, he's expecting his centre to be out there in the space, punching holes through the line. And it was a good opening 40 minutes from Wakefield. Just 2 mistakes from them. They were sharing the workload, and the majority of plays was in the middle channel.
Well, Ryan Morgan out of the side injured. He was injured in the last training session yesterday. Johnny Lomax playing in the centres, waiting for this scrum to form. So, opportune moment to join Bill on the sideline for the halftime news.
Where the rain has just started to fall quite heavily. Worst conditions of the evening. It was already slippery when the game kicked off. It's going to get worse than that. It really is quite heavy now. But Saints know they are in an arm wrestle. Justin Holbrook pretty happy with the way his side has been going, especially in defensive mode. Need to tighten up or sharpen up in attack. So that stray pass there will disappoint him early on. They're not going to get many chances in this game, is the feeling. They need to make the most of those that come their way. For the same reason, Chris Chester pretty happy with his side's performance so far. Good completion rate from them, somewhere up around the 90% mark, so very satisfied with that. And they too looking to make more of the opportunities that come their way. The one problem for St Helens, not a problem really. Alex Walmsley, he has got a bang on the knee, or has had a bang on the knee. He picked that up last week, so just aggravated a bit, but he's okay to continue.
That's knocked forward by Ben Jones-Bishop. That will be the turnover, because the kick came on the last.
Well, they've continued the theme from the first half, haven't they, Wakefield? I don't think I've seen a side that have challenged as many kicks in the first 43 minutes of a game as we have with Wakefield. And Chris Chester and his side, they've clearly got the message. Let's put kicks into a position where our own teammates can challenge it when it comes to the ground. Here's a dangerous tackle perhaps from Mark Percival. Seems to have hurt the back of his neck.
Well, it's Hadley who...
Right, so he's got his neck in a bad position, hasn't he? So he's applied pressure on there. I think this will be a penalty and a possible sin bin. So he's clearly pushing down on the back of the neck. He's got to release that.
He's checking his A-OK. Mark Percival. Dean Hadley found his hand and his arm trapped over the top, as you'll see here, of Percival.
So are they able to listen to the video referee here? Is that what the referee's doing?
Yeah, he's had some information. And as I said, I think it's going to be a sin bin because it's clear pressure on the back of the neck. And it'll be looked at by the match review panel. So one in the Leeds whole game last week, very similar to that.
So it's an automatic sin bin.
Dangerous contact is automatic sin bin.
Then you'd say unintentional as well from Hadley. Well, mate, at that point you could see that Anakin is pulling Percival one way. Hadley's trying to pull him the other way to land on top of him. Unfortunately, he gets his head in that position. And Hadley's 10 minutes in the sin bin now.
And that will not help the Wakefield cause. He's not hurrying either, Dean Hadley, to get off the field. Sauntering to the sideline, watched by John Keir and Chris Chester, his head coach. Referee gives the penalty, and Richardson dumps the ball into touch. So they have to do without Dean Hadley for 10 minutes. And Saints now in possession. This maybe is their opportunity. Walmsley with the first drive.
Well, that's what they've got to play off, Saints. They've got to play off a strong goal forward from the likes of Walmsley and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. get going forward, give the platform to James Roby, let him then get out from dummy half and really engage those defenders. Here he goes.
Finds Walmsley, who loses the ball in contact. Anakin drops on it gleefully and gratefully.
A greasy ball. When you pass that greasy ball at the line, you really do put pressure on the bloke receiving it. It's big Alex Walmsley, who had a huge influence in the first half. He can't keep hold of it. He's under pressure from Liam Finn, tugging at the ball. And it's an opportunity and a bit of possession wasted for Saints.
Knowles is the man off. Payru the man on. Matty Lees driving the legs.
Nice effort from Lees on Anakin, wasn't it?
It was indeed. This is Hubie. Hubie is tackled on tackle number 4. Randall and Fifita taking on Roby. And Randall waits again. We've reached tackle number 5 once more. This is Miller. Miller just goes for territory down this left-hand touchline. Probably because they're down to 12 men, just eating up the clock a bit.
Well, St Helens have had 2 games this season when they've looked as though they could walk out and perhaps win the grand final. Against Hull in the Magic weekend up in Newcastle, and then when we saw them play at the start of the Super 8 against the Castleford Tigers, they found an extra gear that night, didn't they, with the defence which was outstanding and the speed of ball movement that night. Well, they need something special now in the next 35 minutes here, because at present their opponents look keener, faster and have far more enthusiasm for most, playing with and without the ball.
Nakinson coming forward for St Helens, who've got 3 straight defeats behind them. And they really are at their point of no return tonight. They're here for a second time in 6 weeks. They won 41-16 on July the 23rd. They're trailing 12-6 here. 45 minutes gone, 5 minutes of the second half, therefore. A big 35 minutes for St Helens.
Luke Thompson has come on and replaced Alex Walmsley. He's just below us at the gantry, limping a little bit. That right knee strapped up. But Luke Thompson, he'll have to charge the ball forward as he did in the first 20.
Good tackle by Reece Lynn, that was. This is Farge again. Go high into the night sky. And Scott Griggs pouches it safely. It's brought down by Regan Grace.
Good players made that look easy. Griggs, under no pressure, doesn't look in any doubt of not catching that ball. That's the reason this set and that quick play of the ball has Wakefield on the front foot.
And Arundel goes down on tackle number 3. Here goes Matty Ashurst again. Matty Ashurst began his career at Saints in 2009. Ben Jones-Bishop made his name at the Leeds Rhinos in many ways, but has certainly kicked on this year. 19 tries. Miller just dinks the ball over the top and finds touch again. Just looking at Ben Jones-Bishop, by the way. I'm doing the research for all of these matches. Often I put down 3 times Ben Jones-Bishop's played for the England Knights representative team. What's happened to them? Are they still in existence, the Knights? It's like I would count it like the England under-23s in football.
I don't believe they have regular fixtures. I know the 18s have regular fixtures. The England Youth, which is the 16s set up. They recently played Wales and lost to a very competitive Wales side.
You'd have thought the England Knights would be the next step in the procession.
Absolutely, yeah.
To the full England
see
side.
the next level, the next tier of players, don't they?
I want to see Lancashire, Yorkshire. Throw that one in the mix. The Legends game got 5,000 hearty spectators.
That was to see people like you making fools of themselves, Barry. It's long been
5,000 people.
Yeah, great. I turn up to see John Bishop when he's on one of the big stages. Bit of a laugh.
There's been a notable difference, hasn't there, in this second half from Saints. Look at the carries.
Good run from Luke Thompson.
Getting over that gain line, landing on the front.
They had carries like that last week against Wigan, but they couldn't find the cutting edge, which is what they're aiming for now. On too many occasions, they've come up with mistakes. Almost half of the time they've had the ball, they've forced an error, really, by the... I don't know whether they're anxious, but they've not had the skill level. Their attacking game that all season hasn't really been worthy of making the top 4. And from what we've seen tonight, their attack isn't good enough for them to be in the top 4.
Yeah, Lomax going without it. I apologise, Barry. I've got to start leaving you alone on a Thursday night. I really have. You get my point.
Just have a go with him on a Friday.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow then.
One day a week off. It's not my fault I'm always right, Eddie.
No, I realise that, Baz. I understand.
I know some people can't handle the truth.
Referee has called time off as Jacob Miller feeds the scrum. Here now is Tupu again. Gets the ball away, smuggles it into the arms of Scott Griggs. Randall asking for a high shot then. I think it was. There's a man who is Matty Lees, who is...
he does well. There's a man who's clever. There's a player who's intelligent. Spots what's in front of him. Doesn't preempt any play.
And to be fair to Lees, he didn't get involved. He just backed off and backed off and backed off.
Fafita's lost the ball.
Oh, stolen.
Penalty.
I think that's the correct call. Big Dave Fafita has that ball. He's looking for an offload, and the only way sometimes to slow a player like that is put a bit of pressure on the ball. And that big man Fafita is only thinking about getting to ground.
2 points here, wouldn't you? Surely you would.
It's Theo Farge who had his hand around the ball.
Look around. He's so intelligent. He's got to react so quick. Is it better to shift the ball out or do a player what's there straight in front of me?
Should Matty Lees have been penalised then anyway, Stuart? But he didn't get involved in the tackle, did he?
He didn't get involved in the tackle, but I think because he actually got hold of his shirt when he was pushing him back, would have persuaded the referee not to penalise him.
Because basically Matty Lees couldn't get out of the way.
That's right. He couldn't get out of the way. Had he just ran into him, he would have probably got a penalty. But you can see there, he's got hold of his shirt as he's pushing him back, so he's no way of getting out of the way. So that will be why he would just play on.
Well, they're going to go for the 2 points on offer here, because that would mean that Saints have to score twice.
Fellas, make sure you're all behind the ball, please. Sure, behind the ball.
And Hadley is still in the sin bin, so there's another reason why they're wasting a minute. Still got about 3 or 4 minutes in the bin to go.
Since he's been in the bin, they've kicked the ball off the field twice. They're going for this, wasting 3 or 4 minutes of that sin bin.
So Liam Finn with the opportunity to add 2 more points to the Wakefield tally. And St Helens do have to score twice now. Liam Finn's penalty being applauded by the Wakefield fans, and an efficient performance so far. Thumbs up from John Keir and a high five from Chris Chester, but they're signs, I think, that only they know the exact meaning of.
Well, professional job as well.
We know that what the twiddling of the fingers means, don't we, Eddie? It means hurry up, get on with it. And those Wakefield fans, we said at the beginning of the game, it was a little bit quiet. The atmosphere was a little bit pensive. Well, these fans are starting to believe that, yes, we can match it with the big boys. Yes, we've got a chance of getting in the top 4. And then who knows, on them one-off playoff games, it could well be a visit to Old Trafford.
You never, ever know, do you? They
Cast Wakey final, Eddie.
Well, how about that? Well, it depends. There's Michael Carter, the club chairman. If Wakefield finished 4th, they would go to Castleford in the semi-finals. And as we're talking about that, they come up with an error. It's not since 80-81, though, that Wakefield have finished 4th in the elite division of the competition. Anakin is the man who went without it this time.
Well, we heard from Bill on the sideline just after half-time that the rain started coming down heavy. To go at the line like that, that's got to be a nice little delicate pass. You've got to be confident of catching that when you've got players that are jamming in from the outside, jamming in from the inside. And here we go, Dean Hadley just talking, jamming in from the outside, jamming in from the inside. And here we go, Dean Hadley just talking, jamming in from the outside, jamming in from the inside. And here we go, Dean Hadley just talking. But good field position, just to the right-hand side of the sticks. They had generals either side, they had good shape, and you could see the little wobble.
Tom, on the 10.
It's a knock on by Luke Thompson.
Okay, Johnny. Okay, Benny, let's find Ben head in.
And manna from heaven, really, for Wakefield. This clock is ticking away. They'll soon be back to the full complement of 13.
Surrender!
Ricks goes down.
Stand
The
First
Saints
tackle.
they need a game changer, and when you've not got the ball, that means they're coming up with some sort of a tackle that lifts your team and wins possession back. Can they find a player to force it to be? The Trinity side have been very good, haven't they? They're not coming up with simple errors, dropping it under pressure, get to the end and kick it.
Well, John Wilkins just come back on for St Helens. We know in his repertoire he's got those high kicks, so difficult to deal with on a wet and greasy night, but that's a terrific charge from Fafita.
It is. Fafita will play the ball 40 metres out. Miller will have a run, got one in the chops for his pains then from Luke Thompson. Miller all along the ground again.
Is it touched?
Regan Grace waits for it.
Oh yeah, it just touches the whitewash, doesn't it?
Was it touched by a Saints player? I think that's the big question here.
Time off.
I think you might be right
James,
here, Phil.
I've got scrum down. St Helens ball. Just make sure it's not touched.
He wants James Childers to have two quick looks at this to see whether it is touched by St Helens' foot.
Well, he's made the call that he, on the field, I think it's St Helens ball. I just want to check to see if it was touched anywhere through. Difficult to tell off that.
Percival is the man in question.
The video referee has to see something certain to overrule the on-field decision. Does this show it?
He makes a play for that with his right foot, doesn't he, Percival?
But does he touch it?
Yeah.
You think he does?
I think it's difficult to tell from that.
Right, Saints ball, guys.
I think
We're
we'll
going to
just
go
stick
with St Helens ball, the original call.
I think we'll go with the original
Chris,
call.
Chris,
Not conclusive.
think about what we're saying. All right, as time.
Well, I think he's got about 30 seconds, if that, Dean Hadley, to serve in the sin bin. He's waiting on the sideline, waiting to come back on. There he is. Any moment now. Wakefield will have survived with 12 against 13. That'll be a tick in the box for them.
They've thrived. They've not just survived, they've thrived. They've handled this period of pressure. They're looking to grow in strength, mental and physical strength.
Here the Saints again down the middle. Hadley is back on. There he is, making that challenge on Makinson. Thompson again. Solid defence from Wakefield. 4 tackles gone. Saints still inside their own half. Here they are with Farge. Goes to the left-hand side to Taya and Percival, and he finds Regan Grace. Regan Grace, one of those weavy little runs of his, halted by Anakin. Play the ball here to Roby. And Farge, trapped by the foot of Scott Grix. Safety first in these conditions. Flying tackle coming in from Zeb Taya.
Well, they look to force an error here. Otherwise, they just need to shorten the kicks up, but still stick some height on them. Kick the belly of the ball, let it float down. Make it difficult for Scott Grix when he's going to catch it.
Solid defence now on show from St Helens.
I don't know if a coach can influence the players' appetite and desire in a game, or whether that's something that must come from within. But it's clear to me that the guys in the red shirts just seem to want this more at the moment. I know they're controlling the ball better, but their effort on the defence when they control sets in that previous set was, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They've kicked again to the sideline. They've got good control of the game right now.
Eddie, that's what they've got, haven't they? On the left-hand side, Jacob Miller. He controls all the players. On the right-hand side, they've got Liam Finn. Both of those players, whatever part of the pitch they're on, they'll sit behind the big fellas. They'll direct them. They'll tell them where they want to finish with that last player. And then they'll just position themselves in that pocket to kick the ball off the field.
And if they're covered, if those 2 players don't step up and say it's mine, Scott Grix, he's prepared and has got enough quality to take control.
55 minutes on the watch. Wakefield with the and another mistake. Ball comes out of the grasp of Makinson in the ferocity of that challenge. They'll bring it back now for the original offence. What a hit this was.
You've got to hit him with everything. He's so quick. Look at him. Tucks the ball under his wing. And Randall, well, he doesn't leave anything there, does he?
Helped out by Anakin as well.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You love the enthusiasm. Watch Anthony England there. When he notices there's a mistake, they celebrate. It's not all about looking good when you've got the ball. You've got to do that dirty stuff in defence.
New deal signed in the last 24 hours for Tommy Makinson. at Saints till the end of 2021. So an opportunity here for Wakefield. With possession from the scrum, it's Arundel.
Well, move, Danny!
Goes down 15 metres from the line. Tupu to Miller. Miller then to England. Anthony England goes down. There is Tyler Randall behind him. Finds Hubie. Anakin almost up the middle. Good job the Payru was there. Gets away from Payru. Can't get away from Wilkin or Zebtea. And they're getting closer and closer, Wakefield. Looking to put this game to bed if they can. This is Miller. He gets it away to Arundel. The ball has come back. And it's with Payru. I think that was a knock-on by Wakefield. And then it ricocheted off a body of the St Helens player. Lomax goes down. What a hit that was.
There's the offload from Arundel. Fails to find the target. And look at these Trinity players in defence now. Hitting hard and controlling the ruck.
Well, that was a good hit from Makinson. Here is England taking on, Wormsley rather, taking on Hubie. Plays the ball to Roby. Roby will make ground. Or he's dragged to the floor on tackle number 5, still inside his own half. The kick then. Barber finds Richardson. Richardson up and over the top, he thinks, but no, straight into the arms of Tupu.
Good positioning from the back three from Wakefield. He closed that play off. They knew that the middleman had everything sorted, but you just feel now that Saints are trying to up the pace in defence and in attack, trying to turn the pressure on Wakefield here.
Once again, it's Anthony England.
Move!
Hubie now. Tries to get away from Thompson and Lomax. Can't do so. 4 tackles gone. Just over halfway they are, as Randall finds Liam Finn. Finn then gives it to Miller. Miller looks for the runners. It's Hadley. Taylor and Theo Farge doing a job on him. Miller on the last. It's a simple game plan. Some would say boring.
Percentages, Eddie.
But they're going for field position.
Percentages. Just keep turning them around. Jacob Miller knew exactly what he was doing. When he goes in behind dummy half, he steps out to the blind side, kicks it to the short side. It might not be attractive, but it's certainly working.
Jacob Miller with the kick. And let's again tell you what's coming up over the next couple of days. Jacob Miller's ex-club, Hull FC, against Wigan tomorrow. Massive for Wigan and Hull. Sky Sports Arena, 7:30. Go to Sky Sports Action on Saturday for the qualifiers. Hull KR and Widnes. That is big as well. 3:10. And also on Sky Sports Action, Catalan against Featherstone Rovers. Catalan need a spark in their quest to stay in Super League next year. Will it come against Featherstone on Saturday at 5:10? St Helens need a spark to try and ignite their bid for the top 4. It will be very difficult if they lose here. Here is Wilkin, gets it wide to Zebtea, who slides almost on his knees into the challenge of Dean Hadley. Roby, 40 metres out. Wilkin, back it comes then to Richardson. Richardson again, good ball to Barber.
Did it come off Bill Tupu? I think potentially it came off a Wakefield player first, and then they'll get the ball back.
Look down. Come down there, bud.
Yes, Ben Taylor and the touch judge working in tandem. It was off Bill Tupu.
He just takes it right to the line, doesn't it? Ben Barber tries to commit the defender. They look like they created some space, probably for the first time as we're approaching 59 minutes going into the last quarter of this match.
Well, this is a chance for them. They'll get possession from this scrum, midway inside Wakefield's half. Richardson looking busier and busier, finds Barber likewise in this second half. Regan Grace. Down the short side goes Regan Grace. Never shy of taking the responsibility in his own hands, young Regan. Taya, Wilkin, Wormsley with a knock-on.
Well, if they can hang in there, you know, this isn't all over for the Saints, but being able to play when you're not playing well, and lift your heads and lift yourself here. We've seen Wakefield at home this season, and they get nervous when their opponents start to come from behind. He just drops the ball, doesn't he? It's clearly gone forward, and the ball control almost means they don't deserve to win this game. But remember when Wakefield had that significant lead against Castleford, and the Tigers started to come back, and the nervous anxiety that crept into this Wakefield outfit. Eventually they lost, but to see a disappointed duo of directors for the Saints club at present.
Okay, and we go heads in, Tyler, head in.
Seaman McManus doesn't look very impressed with what he's seen so far.
Last one.
Coming up to the hour mark. Super 8 meeting last year. That was at Langtree Park, as it was known then. And St Helens won by 32 points to 12. Tonight they're struggling, 8 points adrift of Wakefield. Oops, there's a mistake from England, and St Helens get the ball back in good field position midway inside the Trinity half. This is Roby, now it's Wilkin. Is this the chance? Is this the game changer for St Helens?
Well, it's important that they build pressure even if they don't score in this play. Our stats tell us they've made 12 mistakes in the game since. Better completion rates by Wakefield.
Here is Richardson, though. Gets the ball away. Peyroux. Impressive last week against Wigan, despite the fact that he ended up on the losing side. Off the bench again tonight. Plays the ball to Roby. Roby then fires it to Farge. Farge gives it to Walmsley. Difficult man to stop. But Wakefield get the numbers in there, and how? Just short of the goal line. We'll play the ball here to Roby. Roby will give it some width and find Richardson. Richardson then finds Barber. Barber wrestled to the ground by Miller. Last tackle coming up for the Saints. They begin this 10 metres out as Lomax at dummy half finds Richardson. Slides the kick in. The ball bounces off the upright. And well, Wakefield survive. Anakin is the first man to drop on the loose ball. A little bit of misfortune there for St Helens.
It was a nice kick, wasn't it? It was a nice way to kick.
9 inches the other side. Yeah, it's perfect.
Well, he had support from two of his teammates who'd gone past where the ball was. They didn't expect it to hit the pad. But as I said a couple of minutes ago, Justin Holbrook, look at him. He knows that they were so close. But look at the line speed here now.
Yes, they're trying to turn the screw on Wakefield.
So important they don't give a penalty away here.
Arundel goes down. Liam Finn's the dummy half. Oof, big hit.
Some shots in this game, isn't there?
What a collision that was by Peyroux. You felt that? Here's Miller. Humps the ball downfield, straight into the arms of Ben Barber. Back come the Saints. Barber to halfway before he's grounded.
Eddie, and that's the reward for intimidating defence. The line speeders has guaranteed that they get the ball now and they're in good field position. See Tommy Makinson gives himself up. John Wilkin had gone through as a lead runner.
Roby, dummy half. Into centre field to Farge. Zeb Taylor. Zeb Taylor under pressure from Reece Lynn, Ben Jones-Bishop. Farge again. Here comes Thompson. Roby waits. Now it's Wilkin. Wilkin fires the pass to Richardson. He then gives it to Peyroux. Important challenge that by Matty Ashurst.
Would have been a penalty then from England.
Roby darting at the line, gets it away to Walmsley, back to Theo Farge. It's opened up for Theo Farge. St Helens are back in the hunt. Theo Farge crowns his comeback, having been left out last week, ending a 10-game run. He's come back here tonight and he's grabbed the try. Theo Farge, the French international, throws St Helens a playoff lifeline.
Eddie, good at defence, gets them the ball back in decent field position. Then it was all Route 1 rugby, straight up the guts. Men pushing up into the next hole. All the support runners are options. They didn't have that. They weren't winning that midfield battle early on in this game. But there's a different intensity into the play in the last 5 minutes.
Crucial decision by James Roby. He picks up, he takes it to the line, he finds the front row Walmsley, who throws the speculative offload. Good stuff to keep himself in the frame. Theo Farge and Saints with a lot to do.
Well, this will help if Percival adds the extras. Theo Farge, one of the success stories of St Helens in 2017. And Mark Percival has added the extra points. We've 16 minutes left. Justin Holbrook's men have got the chance. It's back in their court.
Eddie, I think you once said that you can never write off the Saints. Well, I'll tell you what, they've had the best 5 minutes of this match here. They've tackled with greater intensity and they've moved the ball along with a confidence we haven't seen for the first hour of this game. The Saints supporters are starting to believe that what was a bad trip over to this Wakefield ground to start with could have a happy ending.
Well, there's now a little bit of concern on the faces of Messrs Chester and Keir. This is a deep kick-off from Grix, but he measured it. Farge gives it back to Luke Thompson. Here they come, the Saints.
Sorry, Eddie, the danger is the strike and the quality in this St Helens side, because the reason I said they've got a long way to go is for 62 minutes, I think they've been completely outplayed, out-enthused, and Wakefield Trinity just 2 points in front on the scoreboard. Their nerves might start to jangle now, and the excitement levels of the Saints just might start to rise.
And they've got a 2-on-1 overlap down that left-hand side. Percival, though, comes back inside. Goes down on the halfway line, tackle number 4. Roby is waiting, as always. Finds Wilkin. This is Farge, gobbled up by Reece Lynn. Last one coming up then for the Saints. Barber running it with Percival. Now with Regan Grace. Regan Grace into Ben Barber. Roby wants the ball in field. It's a forward pass. It's a forward pass.
Well, that's where they can get you. When you switch off, when you think that, they won't go down the short side, they'll look to go down that short side. And Barber knew that he was going to get pushed out of the field of play on the last tackle. He had to get the ball back inside. Well, that's a danger sign. That's a red light for this Wakefield Trinity side.
Barry said they've been outplayed, St Helens, for 62 minutes. His old song is, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Tupu, score of the 2 tries in the first half for Wakefield. 14-12 they lead, 14 minutes remaining, 2 points the difference. Tense finish on the way. Arona goes down, tackle number 3. St Helens have certainly upped the ante in the last 10 minutes, no question.
Controlled in defence. Oh, Alex Walmsley spotted Craig Hubie then. Comes from 3 defenders out to challenge the big fella.
Hadley has a scamper, pulled down by Alex Walmsley.
And they're good signs when your prop forward's working for a marker like that.
Ian Finn's gone for a 40-20 attempt, but he hasn't quite got the angle right. Barber's able to pick it up. Chase isn't bad, though, from Wakefield. Regan Grace will try and inject a bit of pace. Good chase by Jacob Miller.
Yeah, big lift, even though it's not 40-20. Still got distance. Still close to Saints' line.
Surrender! Stand up!
Makinson will get to his feet. Plays it to Roby. Farge down that left-hand channel again. Clawed to the ground by Kermond. Oh, and there's a problem here. Is it a problem for Reece Lynn?
Yeah, straight away, Danny. What does he say? Is it a knock-on as well?
Knock-on's been called.
As well as a problem for Reece Lynn. There's a mistake from Saints. Theo Five spotted some space. And then Reece Lynn goes down. I couldn't see anything that happens in it. Theo Five's going at Danny Kermond. He doesn't bite in Danny Kermond until it's the right time to go for the little French halfback. You can see the little wobble on the floor as he makes contact with the ground.
When Kermond was signalling, I thought there was a major problem for Reece Lynn, but he was obviously just telling the referee there'd been a knock-on there, which the touch judge also spotted. This is Arona. Looks like Lynn's A-OK. Scott Grix gets the ball away, but there's no way forward there for Keegan Hurst. Hadley. Arona, down the middle he goes. Thompson stands and brings him down. Hadley once again comes left. Keegan Hurst once more. Only his 3rd start tonight, Keegan Hurst. Oh, and it's a penalty conceded for a ball steal. Well, Wilkin can't believe it. Doesn't believe that this is a fair call. Let's see.
Difficult to see from that angle. There's certainly a ball around it. There's John Wilkins' hand on it as he goes down. does he pull the ball out?
Well, his hand's on the ball, and then
there's a pulling action there, isn't it? That's the thing the referee will go on, looking for the action of the pull on the ball. There's a hand underneath, and there's the pull.
And an interesting one, Liam Finn choosing to take the 2 points on offer.
And John Wilkin has looked at the screen and watched that replay, and he says, "What's that?" Well, that, John Wilkin, is a penalty according to the referee, Ben Thaler. You won't change his mind.
This is about time management again. I think probably if you were at Wakefield, would have run the ball, keep the pressure on the Saints, choosing to go for the 2 points here.
Well, it's only a 4-point lead, isn't it? So it won't alter anything if he kicks it. Which he does. It's 16-12. And, well, they look quite calm, don't they? Messrs Chester, Gilmore and Keir. Justin Holbrook. Jamal Alisi alongside. They know it is a big 10.5 minutes to come.
And you have to say the coaches from the respective teams will be looking at the 6-7-1-9, the spine of the team. And Wakefield 6-7-1-9 have vastly outplayed their opposition. Liam Finn, he chooses to go for the 2 points on offer, and I think the coaching team trust his judgment.
Talk about coaches and the decisions. It looks as though St Helens have replaced the O'Farge. Maybe we're going to see Johnny Lomax in the centre of the field, see if he can have an impact inside the last 10.
And Morgan Knowles is the man who's come on for him, Theo Farge. So
Three back here, lads.
So you have to have a bit of sympathy for Johnny Lomax. Fullback last week, standoff. Fullback 2 weeks ago, standoff last week, centre tonight. And now maybe being charged to get St Helens back into this contest.
It was always going to happen sooner or later in the game, wasn't it? Put him around the ball, let him get his hands on the ball a bit more.
Liam Finn. All along the deck, stands up nicely for Barber. Keegan Hurst to him, but illegally high shot on Ben Barber.
Well, they've definitely got another try in them, the Saints. And Ben Barber's footwork at the line, you can see the contact, just a hand in the face from Keegan Hurst when he hits Barber. Now from that penalty, Saints are close to the halfway line.
And here they come. They're coming forward looking for the try and a goal that would give them the lead. Taya struggling to his feet. Roby dummy half. Richardson. Wilkin. Lomax. Gets it away to Peyru, who did well to hang on to that. The ball was a little behind him. Roby gets rid of Lomax at dummy half. Wilkin. Thompson. Arona there. England there. And Keegan Hurst for good measure. How's this ball come out? Knocked on. It's knocked on.
Well, Wakefield are doing a good job then of slowing the play of the ball down.
Luke Thompson says someone's need this ball out of his possession.
Well, Anthony England was getting up to get set at marker, and as Luke Thompson's going to put the ball down, it does make contact with the knee.
Yeah, well, you could also look at the fact Luke Thompson hasn't stood up with the ball. He probably needs to stand up first before he puts the ball down. Then he might see where he's putting it.
Angry Justin Holbrook. You can see the Saints season trickling through his fingers here.
Well, we're in for an exciting finish from the Saints. They will keep the ball alive.
Wakefield will just do what they've done from the start of the game. They'll just play safety first as Tupu goes down. Hadley. Arona over the halfway line. No histrionics from Wakefield in the first 3 tackles this set. Hadley viewing the prospects both ways. Goes into centre field and finds Miller. He drops the pass off to Liam Finn. Finn then finds Scott Grix. Opposite number Lomax is the man who brings him down. Lomax in no hurry. Plays the ball to Finn. This now Kermond.
You get the feeling that Wakefield need 4 points for 4th place perhaps in Super League this season. It's the last play. They've been good at these recent games.
Finn high down that right hand side. Barber, great take. So into the last 7 minutes or so. Let's get news on Alex Walmsley. Bill. Bill not there maybe, so we'll come back to him in a moment as Wakefield look to pile the pressure on defensively here on Makinson.
We'll just keep getting up quick, cutting down on the thinking time.
Great defence this from Wakefield. 4 tackles gone, still inside their own 20. Roby to Wilkin. Wilkin then finds Barber. Wide it goes to Percival. Further wide to Regan Grace. Regan Grace has got pace, but he's got about 3 or 4 men to get past and can't get past England or Reece Lynn. Last one coming up for Saints, still inside their own half. Barber, are they going to run it?
Look at that pressure.
Richardson, great stuff from Richardson. Up the middle he goes. He's got Barber for support. Off the head of a Wakefield player. And that ball will find its way over the touchline on the far side. And did the Wakefield man be adjudged to have played at this ball? No, he hasn't. It's head and feed to Wakefield.
Well, he did well, Danny Richardson, to react to what was going on in front of him. And you could see he was under pressure. They were trying to chase him down, knowing it was the last play. Danny Richardson goes at the line, goes straight through. And unfortunately, they don't get the ball back here.
OK, let's see if we can get Bill on the sidelines. A bit damp down there, Bill. Is the wire plugged in now?
Yeah, we're good to go, Eddie. The news is, and bit of a mystery, Alex Walmsley has left the field and he might actually have left the ground. Now, I understand that his wife was due to give birth at any time ahead of this game, and he took the decision to play. But the word is that his wife has actually gone into labour, and Alex Walmsley has left the ground to be there. So Walmsley will play no further part. That certainly looks to be the case.
He did actually say, Eddie, with a smile on his face when he interviewed him before the game, that one of his colleagues on the sideline has got it, his phone, so he might, if you see him hurrying off, that's where he's gone.
Well, I hope she can hang on for the next hour and a half. Unless he might turn up in full kit here for St Helens.
Now you go for 2 points here.
Well, you would. If you've gone for 2 not long ago, you certainly go for 2 here.
Yeah. And just trying to slow Arona down. Morgan Knowles go for 2 points, then it'll be nice, conservative up the middle every time they get the ball. Then they'll try and get the 1 point, just take the game away.
Well, the coaching staff have made their decision. What do the players think? Have they sent the kicking tee out there? Yes, they have.
He's got it in his hand, Liam Finn. He's just using the time available to him.
He's got a full minute, hasn't he, Stuart, before he has to call time off, Ben Thaler?
1 minute from when the penalty is awarded, so we'll be keeping an eye on the time. It'll be called off when that time goes.
You'd have to think worst case scenario here, they're going to end up with a draw, aren't they? If he gets the kick, St Helens got the ball back from the restart and scored the best they're going to end up with is 18 points. You can't see any more than that. So this to guarantee them at least a point on the league table.
Liam Finn. He's kicked pretty well tonight. Just the 1 miss, 4 from 5. The last thing he wants, if he misses it, he's got to get the ball dead as well. But he wants the 2 points. And Liam Finn has hit the post, and it bounces back and straight to Mark Percival. So the drama isn't over yet.
Well, there's the lifeline that Saints need. Just watch when they start opening these players up now, knowing that there's only less than 4 minutes to go in the game.
It's muck and nettles now, isn't it?
Yeah, they've only got a couple more sets of 6 with the ball now. Maybe 12 more players to attack this Wakefield line that has been very good throughout this game.
Farge back on the field, finds Richardson. Here is Lomax. Lomax hounded down by Reece Lynn. He's done a pretty good job on him tonight. Here goes Roby. Roby finds Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. That's the last tackle, though. They're only just over halfway. Farge have to be inventive here with Richardson. Now with Barber. And Barber gets the ball away somehow to Peyrou. Peyrou then to Richardson. Richardson gives it then to Thompson. Thompson gets the ball away. It's on the ground. Picked up by Theo Farge. Here is Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Now it's Zeb Taylor. Taylor goes wide to Percival. Percival down the line, through the legs of Scott Griggs. Oh! It's a try for Lomax. It could be a try for Lomax. It is almost a wide to west moment for St Helens. They have a try on the field. And this not only could be just a point for St Helens, it could be a win for St Helens. The decision on the field is a try. There's so much to look at. It went through so many pairs of hands. That is immaterial now as James Child looks at the replay. Stuart Cummings, what's the decision, do you think?
Well, they check the onside, clearly onside, everybody. Kicker's the foremost player. So it comes down to the grounding. Is it down there the first time?
Well, Scott Griggs drops on it, surely. No, he doesn't. He gets a boot to it.
So that ball's kicked back, so we play on from here. There's no touch by anybody else.
It's a try, Stuart.
So it's just the grounding there. Not a problem. That's a try.
Lomax has come up with the rescue package for St Helens.
I told you, Eddie, they were going to open it up.
Why didn't Scott Griggs just drop on that ball, ground it in goal?
Well, if he had his time again, he would do.
Forevermore.
Yeah.
Lomax with the try for St Helens, not been given yet, but surely this is going to be given. James Child presses the button, and Saints are level with a kick to come, possibly to win it. Eamon McManus knows they've played the get-out-of-jail card here. It's 16 apiece, 2.5 minutes to go. Johnny Lomax here, there and everywhere over the past fortnight. And a short kick-off, says John Keir. He knows they're going to have to try and rescue this match if Mark Percival kicks this goal. They'll have to rescue something anyway.
What's going through that man's mind now, Mark Percival?
What's going through Wakefield's mind?
Yeah.
Well, they've been here before, haven't they? We saw it against Casper when they lost in the death. That decision to kick the penalty goal now, maybe that's one that they'll be regretting here, wasn't it, really? The kick to the corner could have kept them at that end of the field. The worst case scenario there would have been a draw, but the kick hit the upright, we know that now. And this is what you would define as a pressure kick.
Just a bit. 2 minutes to go. 2 points on offer for Mark Percival to maybe win the match for Saints and keep their top 4 hopes alive.
I'm going to back him, Eddie.
This to go ahead for the first time tonight. St Helens take the lead with 1.5 minutes remaining. The great escape. The great escape. And Chris Chester and John Keir cannot believe it.
Well, it's a game of inches, isn't it?
Look at this.
Liam Finn, it comes off the upright, they get the ball back. The Wakefield fans thought that they'd done their job. But look at this, the amount of players that get the ball. When Luke Thompson gets it here and he tucks it under his wing, I thought, no, it's gone to the wrong man. Then LMS gets the ball, nice techers to get it out wide.
So they have 1.25 minutes, and by the looks of things, St Helens have come up with the position from the short kick-off.
Well, St Helens have come up with some mistakes tonight, but the catch there to take that from Thomas Makinson was brilliant there. Short restart, they attempted to go for it, and Makinson came flying in off the wing, secure possession, and they're now inside the last 60.
Well, frankly, unbelievable, because St Helens have been second best all night. But when the moment came and when the moment mattered, St Helens came up with the goods, and they might be going home tonight with a priceless victory. Richardson will dump that ball into touch. 30 seconds remaining. And John Keir, Lee Gilmore, Chris Chester must be wondering what on earth has gone wrong.
I'll still give the Wakefield side an awful lot of credit, though. Right down to the wire this game has gone. Wakefield was superb for probably 65 minutes. And all of a sudden, Saints will get a chance, they'll create a chance. And they lead now by 2 points on the scoreboard. Incredible.
Well, we talked about it being St Helens' last throw of the dice as we approach the game. The next 25 seconds is Wakefield's last throw of the dice. The story will continue on because there's still a couple of games remaining, but Wakefield could have just about sorted themselves out with a top 4 place, and now they're 15 seconds away from having an almighty scramble over the next 2 weeks.
And
Saints are not in any mood at all to let this go. This is the last play of the match. They'll have to try something inventive, and here they go with Ben Jones-Bishop. Into touch he goes. St Helens, look at them. Look at the reaction from Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. A fantastic, fantastic win for them. We say farewell to the viewers on Main Event. You will now have the debate. And here on Sky Sports Arena, we will have the reaction to this, the most remarkable of comeback wins for St Helens. Go back 17 years and remember what happened in that playoff game against the Bradford Bulls.